All right, so we're going to dive right into Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within.
Okay.
Our listeners want to unlock all that wisdom
Yeah.
in this self-help classic, and I think we can guide them straight to the good stuff.
Sounds good.
No need to sift through hundreds of pages.
Right.
We've got them covered.
Yeah, you've chosen a book that's helped so many people
It's a classic.
over the years, and I'm excited to explore its insights with you.
Yeah, it feels especially relevant these days
Mm-hmm.
with everybody like looking for ways to take control of their lives.
Right.
And speaking of taking control,
Yeah.
Robbins throws down a powerful gauntlet right at the start.
Oh, yeah.
He argues that our decisions,
Mm-hmm.
not our circumstances, shape our destiny.
Yeah.
Now, we hear that a lot in self-help,
We do, yeah.
but Robbins goes deeper.
He does. He really delves into the why behind this concept.
I see.
You know, he published this back in 1991.
Wow.
And at the time, it was revolutionary. You know, it really challenged this idea that we're just products of our environment, victims of circumstance.
Right.
He was empowering people to take the reins.
And he even argues that certain types of decisions matter more than others.
Yeah.
He's not just talking about what we eat for breakfast.
Right.
He's talking about the decisions that shape our beliefs, our values, our entire approach to life.
Mm-hmm.
What resonates with you about that idea?
You know, it's the focus on taking responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's still so relevant today.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, we're constantly bombarded with messages that try to influence our decisions.
Mm-hmm.
From advertising to social media, you know.
Yeah.
Robbins gives us a framework for cutting through the noise and making choices that align with our truest selves.
So he uses this metaphor of the giant within that we can awaken.
Right.
But what I appreciate is that he gives concrete examples of what that looks like.
Okay.
So, for example, imagine you're feeling stuck in your career.
Yeah.
Feeling like you're not living up to your full potential. That's where Robbins comes in, challenging you to make a decision to learn a new skill, to network, to actively seek out opportunities. That's the giant starting to stir.
I see what you're saying. It's about shifting from a passive mindset to an active one.
Yes.
Instead of waiting for things to happen to you,
Right.
you start making things happen for you.
And that leads us right into another big theme,
Yo.
mastering our emotions. I
Mhm.
know this is something a lot of people struggle with. So I was particularly curious to see what Robbins had to say about it.
Well, he introduces this concept called the emotional triad, which breaks down how emotions are formed
Okay.
through our physiology, our focus, and the language we use.
Interesting.
It's fascinating stuff, and it really gets into the mechanics of how our minds work.
He gives this example, and I love this.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed how your posture affects your mood?
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're slouching, you tend to feel more down.
Uh-huh.
But if you stand up straight and smile, you actually start to feel more confident. It's like a little mind hack.
Yeah, it is. It's not about denying our emotions,
I see.
but understanding that we have more control over them than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just victims of our feelings.
Right.
We can use Robbins' tools to shift our emotional state, to choose how we want to feel.
It's like taking the reins of our emotional roller coaster.
Exactly.
But then Robbins goes even deeper,
He does.
arguing that our beliefs are the bedrock of our lives.
He contrasts limiting beliefs,
Uh-huh.
those thoughts that hold us back, with empowering beliefs.
Okay.
The book helps you identify which beliefs are serving you and which ones are keeping you stuck.
He even suggests that our past doesn't have to define our future. I love that quote, the past does not equal the future.
Right.
It's like he's giving you permission to rewrite your own story.
Yeah,
Does that resonate with you?
absolutely. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose what we believe, and those beliefs will shape our reality.
It's powerful stuff.
That's a pretty empowering idea.
Yeah.
But then he takes it even further by connecting beliefs to our values.
Now, this is where things start to get really interesting.
Yeah.
He argues that living in alignment with our values is crucial for living a truly authentic and fulfilling life.
And he provides a framework for identifying our core values. He encourages us to think about times in our lives when we felt most alive, most fulfilled. What values were present in those moments?
I see.
By connecting with our values, we can start making choices that feel right at a deeper level.
Powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we really unpacked how Robbins challenges us to take control
Yeah.
of our decisions, our emotions, even our beliefs.
How powerful.
But this book isn't just about like understanding these things, it's about putting them into action.
Yeah.
What really intrigued me was how he bridges that gap
Yeah.
between like insight and actual change.
He provides a very structured approach.
Oh, really?
One of the key elements is goal setting,
Okay.
but it's not the typical, like, make a wish list kind of goal setting.
Right. He's not about vague aspirations.
No.
It's about like creating a roadmap to get where you want to go.
Exactly. He introduces this concept called the RPM plan.
Okay.
Results-focused, purpose-driven, massive action plan.
That's a mouthful.
It is. I know, but it really stuck with me. It's not just about setting any goal,
Right.
but a goal that's deeply aligned with your values
Mm-hmm.
and has a clear purpose behind it.
So you're not just chasing something external, you're driven by a deeper why.
Exactly.
I'm curious, how does that resonate with you?
Mm.
Have you seen that play out in your own life or work?
Absolutely. When people have a strong sense of purpose behind their goals, they're much more resilient.
Interesting.
They don't give up easily because it's not just about achieving a specific outcome. It's about something bigger.
It's about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
He also talks about taking massive action.
Yes.
And I have to admit, sometimes that phrase makes me a little nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where do I even start?
That's where the plan part comes in.
I see.
Robbins emphasizes breaking down big goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay.
It's not about overwhelming yourself.
Right.
It's about creating a realistic plan
Yeah.
that you can actually follow.
It's like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Exactly.
But there's also this interesting tension,
Okay.
between taking action and maybe not knowing all the steps in advance.
I see what you're saying.
How does he address that?
He acknowledges that sometimes we get stuck in analysis paralysis, overthinking things instead of taking action.
Right.
He encourages us to just take that first step,
Yeah.
even if it's a small one, and then adjust course as we learn more along the way.
It's about being both strategic and flexible.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's a dance between planning and being open to adapting as you go.
Yeah.
Which makes me think of another key concept, modeling. It seems like Robbins is a big believer in learning from those who've already achieved what we want.
He argues that it's one of the fastest ways
Interesting.
to accelerate our own success.
Oh, wow.
Like, why reinvent the wheel when there are people who've already paved the path?
Right. It's like finding mentors,
Yeah.
role models who can show us the ropes, but he doesn't just say, find someone successful and copy them.
Right? Right. It's about understanding the principles behind their success.
Okay.
He talks about identifying their beliefs, their values, their habits, and then figuring out how those apply to our own unique situation.
I see.
It's about taking inspiration and then adapting it to our own path.
So it's not about becoming a clone.
Right.
It's about extracting the wisdom
Yeah.
and applying it in a way that's authentic to us.
He even suggests we can model people we don't personally know.
Really?
Think of historical figures,
Yeah.
leaders, artists, anyone whose achievements resonate with you.
Interesting.
Study their lives, their work, their decisions. There's so much to learn from those who came before us.
It's like having a whole library of potential mentors at our fingertips.
Exactly.
What I find fascinating is how he connects modeling to this idea of neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. Now, that can sound a bit intimidating,
I know.
like some kind of mind control technique.
Yeah.
What's your take on NLP, especially in the context of Robbins' work?
It's not mind control at all.
Okay, good.
It's more about understanding how our language, both internal and external, shapes our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
That makes sense.
It's about recognizing the patterns in our communication
Right.
and how they influence our experience. And yes, Robbins suggests we can use NLP to model the communication patterns of successful people.
So instead of just observing their actions, we're also paying attention to their words, their tone, even their body language.
Exactly.
And then what are we trying to mimic them exactly?
It's not about becoming a perfect imitation.
Okay.
It's about understanding the underlying principles.
That-
Maybe they use very empowering language. Maybe they frame challenges as opportunities.
Interesting.
By understanding these patterns, we can start to shift our own communication, both internally and externally, to align with the success we want.
It's almost like learning a new language, the language of success.
Yeah.
He also talks about using NLP techniques, like anchoring positive emotions to specific triggers, which I find really interesting.
Yes, that's a powerful one. It's about creating associations in your mind
Okay.
that trigger positive feelings.
I see.
For example, you could associate a particular song
Yeah.
with a time you felt incredibly confident. So whenever you hear that song, you automatically tap into that feeling of confidence again.
That's cool.
Yeah,
These techniques are really about taking control of your internal state.
exactly.
We've gone from goal setting to modeling.
Right.
Now even diving into the nuances of language
Uh-huh.
and how it shapes our experiences. What I'm struck by is how Robbins weaves all these seemingly disparate elements into a cohesive system. It's not just a collection of random tips.
Ugh.
It's a comprehensive approach to
Yeah.
personal transformation. So we've covered some pretty powerful ground with Awaken the Giant within,
We have.
from, making those key decisions
Well,
to modeling success and even, exploring NLP.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it
Yeah.
all comes back to living a life that feels truly fulfilling.
Robbins really emphasizes that point. He's not just about achieving success
Right.
in a material sense.
I see.
It's about living a life that's congruent with your deepest values.
It's like that saying, right?
Yeah.
Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure.
Yeah.
It makes me think about, there's times in life where I've achieved something I thought I should want, but it didn't actually make me happy.
Right.
Have you ever experienced that kind of disconnect?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think many people reach a point where they realize that external achievements, while important, don't automatically equal happiness or fulfillment.
Right.
Robbins really challenges us to define what those terms mean to us individually.
And he previewed some really practical exercises to do just that.
Yeah.
He suggests reflecting on those moments when you felt most alive,
Right.
most fulfilled,
Uh-huh.
and then trying to identify the values that were present in those experiences.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're reverse engineering your own happiness blueprint.
It's a fascinating process because it forces you to look beyond the surface and really examine what lights you up.
I see.
And then, the key is to start aligning your actions
Yeah.
with those values.
Yeah.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Oh, that resonates with me so much. It's so easy to get caught up in, what we think we should be doing, what society tells us is important.
Right.
But Robbins reminds us that true fulfillment comes from living a life that's in harmony with our own unique values.
And that can be a journey in itself.
Right.
Figuring out what those values are and then having the courage to live in alignment with them, even if it means making some unconventional choices. But he doesn't shy away from the challenges, does he?
He doesn't. No.
He acknowledges that there will be obstacles along the way,
Mm-hmm.
that life isn't always a smooth ride.
That's where this idea of resilience comes in, is like having that mental and emotional toughness to
Yeah.
bounce back from setbacks
Right.
and keep moving forward.
What are some of the strategies
Yeah.
Robbins suggests for cultivating resilience?
Well, one of the most powerful ones is reframing negative experiences.
Okay.
Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, he challenges us to see them as opportunities for learning and growth.
It's about shifting our perspective and finding the lesson in even the most challenging situations.
It's that whole turn lemons into lemonade concept, right?
Exactly.
But it's easier said than done.
Right.
Do you have any tips for actually putting this into practice?
Because sometimes when things go wrong, it's hard to see past the disappointment or frustration.
I think it's about giving yourself permission to feel those emotions,
Okay.
to process them, and then to ask yourself, okay, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this to grow?
Right.
Sometimes it takes time to see the bigger picture, but that shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering.
He also talks about the importance of building a strong support system,
Yes.
surrounding yourself with people
Right.
who believe in you and encourage you.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders in your corner, reminding you of your strengths and helping you get back on track when you fall.
It can make all the difference. I know for me, that's been so crucial,
Yeah.
especially when pursuing big goals that feel a bit daunting.
Having that community of support can make all the difference.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you in a positive way, and who help you stay accountable to your vision.
Exactly.
But even with the best support system, we're still going to encounter fear.
It's a natural human emotion,
It is.
especially when we're pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone.
Right.
What I find fascinating is how Robbins suggests we actually embrace fear,
Really?
not run from it.
Hmm.
That seems so counterintuitive.
It is. He kind of reframes fear as a sign that we're on the right track,
Uh-huh.
that we're stretching ourselves and growing. It's about seeing fear not as an obstacle, but as a companion on the journey of growth and expansion.
He even suggests we can reframe fear as excitement. Like
Wow.
instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, you can say, wow, this is exciting. I'm about to step into something new and challenging.
It's a subtle shift in language,
Right.
but it can have a powerful impact on your mindset.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that fear is often a sign that we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Hmm.
It means we're pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zone and into a space of possibility.
Yeah.
It's like that feeling you get
Okay.
before giving a big presentation
Right.
or embarking on a new adventure. There's a mix of nerves and exhilaration, but you know that you're about to experience something significant.
And as we learn to embrace fear, we unlock a new level of courage and confidence.
Mm.
We start to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to prove ourselves and expand our capabilities.
It's been incredible,
Yeah.
exploring the depths of Awaken the Giant within with you.
Yeah, it has.
We've gone from, those foundational principles of decision-making and emotional mastery
Right.
to the practical steps of setting goals, modeling success,
Yeah.
even reframing our relationship with fear.
It's a lot.
It's clear that this book has stood the test of time for a reason.
It offers such a comprehensive and
Mhm.
empowering approach to personal transformation.
It does. It's about taking control of your destiny,
Right.
stepping into your power, and creating a life that's truly extraordinary.
Exactly.
Well, it's been a pleasure diving into this book with you. And for our listeners, I hope this deep dive has sparked some new insights
Yeah.
and inspired you to awaken your own giant within.
That's what it's all about.
Remember, as Robin says, the only limit is the one you set upon yourself.
So true.
So go out there, embrace the challenges, push yourself beyond your perceived limitations, and create a life that truly reflects your full potential.
I love it.
Thanks for joining us.
It was my pleasure.